On the night of February 17, 2017, a car was making its way from Thrissur to Kochi. Inside, a prominent Malayalam actress sat quietly, unaware that her life was about to change forever. What happened next would send shockwaves across Kerala and ignite one of the most controversial legal battles in Indian cinema history. I'm Anjali Istwal, and in this show, Postmortem, we put the spotlight on crimes that shock us yet make us want to know more and more. So at around 9 p.m., the actress's car was intercepted by a group of men. They forced her to let them in and drove off into the night. For hours, she was held captive, subjected to unimaginable trauma. The attackers not only assaulted her, but filmed the entire ordeal, threatening to release the footage unless she remained silent. Eventually, the survivor was let off near the home of a film director. Shaken but determined, she managed to reach out for help. The police were contacted, and within hours, a case was registered. The details were harrowing: a coordinated abduction, sexual assault, and the chilling use of technology to terrorize the victim. As news of the crime spread, outrage erupted in the state. The public demanded answers. Who were these men? What could drive them to commit such an act? But the turning point came just 2 days later. While addressing a solidarity gathering for the survivor, actor Manju Warrier, a close friend of the survivor and famous actor Dileep's ex-wife, alleged there has clearly been a criminal conspiracy behind this crime. Now, behind the scenes, whispers began to circulate about a bigger conspiracy, one that would soon implicate one of the most powerful figures in the Malayalam film industry. This statement of Manju Warrier is widely believed to have prompted Kerala society to view the case from a different angle, suggesting that the incident involved more than just abduction and assault and was pre-planned. Industry bigwigs like Mohanlal and Mammootty, as well as Dileep, were present at that solidarity event. Over the next few days, the investigator would unravel a web of connections, revealing not just the identities of the perpetrators, but also the dark underbelly of power, jealousy, and revenge that had led to this night of horror. The statement made by Manju Warrier was a turning point for this investigation. This is claimed by the actor Dileep himself also. The man once famous as a Jananayak, who became key accused and alleged mastermind. After his acquittal on December 8, 2025, Dileep accused his former wife for orchestrating the whole investigation and called it a witch hunt. Alleging that there was indeed a criminal conspiracy in the case, Dileep told reporters.
The conspiracy against me began the moment Manju stated that the criminal conspiracy behind the incident must be investigated. A senior officer at that time, along with a team of criminal-minded police personnel chosen by them, orchestrated this action against me. For this purpose, they supported the main accused in the case and the co-accused who were lodged in prison with him, and together this police team created a fabricated story. Then, with the help of certain media organizations and a few journalists who were ready to support them, this fabricated narrative was widely circulated through social media. Today in court, this fake story created by the police team has collapsed. The real conspiracy in this case was to make me the accused, to destroy my career, my image, and my life in society.
The Kerala police launched an immediate manhunt, and within days, they identified 6 men involved in the abduction and sexual assault. The ringleader, a man known as Pulsar Sunni, quickly became a central figure in the investigation. As police interrogated the suspects, they uncovered a chilling detail. The attack had been recorded on a mobile phone, and the footage was used to threaten the survivor. As the investigation deepened, a more disturbing picture emerged. Police began to suspect that the attack was not a random act, but a carefully orchestrated conspiracy. Rumors circulated about a motive rooted in the Malayalam film industry's inner circles, jealousy, revenge, and professional rivalry. The name of actor Dileep surfaced as the alleged mastermind behind the plot. The so-called Janapriya Nayakan, or the people's hero, was suddenly a criminal suspect. Investigators alleged that Dileep, harboring resentment towards the survivor due to her involvement in his breakup with his wife and actress, Manju Warrier, had conspired with the attackers to carry out the assault. The probe widened, uncovering a network of accomplices, including associates and hired hands, all allegedly linked to Dileep. But how did the police even suspect a towering figure of Malayalam cinema? It all began with a snitch, the cellmate of the man who executed the crime. He revealed details that led police to Dileep. In April 2017, the police, under tremendous pressure and scrutiny, filed their first charge sheet in the case. The charge sheet named Pulsar Suni and 6 others. Pulsar Suni, the ringleader of this crime, worked as a driver within the Malayalam film industry and was known for his connections with various actors. In interviews while on bail, Suni described himself not as a criminal, but as a professional who was just doing his job, offering a chilling glimpse into the mind of a remorseless contract criminal, part of the notorious quotation gang industry of Kerala. In June, Sunil's cellmate leads the police to more evidence, and police uncovers a letter written by him to Dileep asking him for money. And also, some audio clips were uncovered. All these point towards the involvement of Dileep. In July 2017, after months of surveillance and evidence gathering, Dileep is arrested and charged with criminal conspiracy, abduction, and other related offences. The stage was now set for a legal battle that would captivate Kerala and the nation. The prosecution in the case submitted that crime was a pre-planned contract or quotation job, as it is called there, orchestrated by Dileep due to a personal vendetta against the survivor. They sought to link Dileep to the abduction and the sexual assault through circumstantial evidence, witness testimonies, financial transactions, and digital records, though the court ultimately found this evidence insufficient to prove the conspiracy charge. The prosecution's case aimed to establish a clear chain of events and connections. How? We're going to tell you. First, motive: personal revenge. The prosecution argued that Dileep held a deep grudge against the survivor for allegedly revealing details of his extramarital affair with actor Kavya Madhavan to his then wife Manju Warrier. This was in 2012. Now, this betrayal and the desire to humiliate and isolate the survivor formed the motive of the attack, which the prosecution claimed was planned with the intent to defame and blackmail the actress who's the survivor. During the attack, the survivor recognized Pulsar Suni and confronted him. Pulsar Suni revealed receipt of quotation or contract for this crime. The survivor herself stated in her initial statement that Pulsar Suni told her he had to record the entire assault to deliver it to his employers. The prosecution argued that this proved the crime was not random but a paid job or a contract job. Now, how was the link to Dileep established? To establish a direct link between Dileep and Pulsar Suni, prosecution asserted that Dileep and Pulsar Suni knew each other, a claim which Dileep has consistently denied. To counter Dileep, the prosecution presented evidence. What was the evidence? Well, firstly, meetings. Multiple witnesses, including a director, testified to seeing Pulsar Suni near Dileep's residence and on film sets in late 2016 and early 2017. phone location data, and selfies were used to corroborate their presence at the same venues. What is the second way that was used? Payments. The prosecution alleged a financial trail, including a cash withdrawal from Dileep's production company in 2015, followed by a deposit into Sunni's mother's account, which they claimed were initial payments for the contract. What else? The jail correspondence. A crucial piece of evidence was a letter Sunni allegedly wrote to Dileep from jail. We told you about that earlier as well. This letter was demanding the balance of the 1.5 crore rupees quotation amount. The prosecution argued that subsequent phone calls between Dileep's manager, his friend Nader Shah, and a jailmate of Sunni, who later became an approver, further corroborated this link and attempts to suppress the information. There were also voice recordings that the witness director Balachandra Kumar provided. These voice recordings allegedly captured Dileep and his associates discussing the case and seemingly confirming that Dileep had a copy of the sexual assault video. These recordings also suggested a conspiracy to intimidate the police officers who were investigating this matter. The prosecution contended that Dileep and his team created a false alibi, including faked hospital admission records for the night of the crime to mislead the investigators about his location on the night. They also accused Dileep and others of destroying key evidence, such as the original mobile phone which was used to record the assault. That mobile phone has never been recovered. Ultimately, while the prosecution presented extensive circumstantial evidence, the trial court found it insufficient to prove the conspiracy charge against actor Dileep beyond a reasonable doubt, leading to his acquittal. What weakened the prosecution's case significantly were the witnesses, who fell like dominoes. A significant number of prosecution witnesses, reportedly as many as 28, turned hostile, meaning they retracted or significantly altered the statements they had initially given to the police during the investigation. These initial statements were crucial to the prosecution's case in establishing the alleged conspiracy and motive against Dileep. The shift in testimonies was widely viewed as a major blow to the prosecution and raised significant concerns about the influence of power within the Malayalam film industry and potential witness tampering. Several prominent figures from the film industry and individuals connected to the case were among those who turned hostile. First, actor Siddique and Bhama. Both had initially told the police that Dileep was angry with the survivor for informing his then-wife, Manju Warrior, about his alleged extramarital affair with Kavya Madhavan. They also stated that Dileep had openly threatened the survivor at a rehearsal camp in Kochi in 2013, with Bhama even mentioning a threat to set fire to her. In court, however, they denied witnessing any such animosity or threats or knowing anything about the conflict. Another witness that turned hostile was actor Edavela Babu. As the then General Secretary of the Association of Malayalam Movie Artists, or AMMA, he had initially stated to police that the survivor filed a complaint against Dileep for sabotaging his film opportunities. But in court, he retracted this. Another actor, Bindu Panikar, she had initially acknowledged being aware of the conflict between the survivor and Dileep, a fact she learned from both the survivor and Kavya Madhavan, the current wife of Dileep. During the trial, she denied this knowledge completely. More witnesses from hotel and hospital staff turned hostile. Witnesses who were outside the film industry, they also changed their statements. Hotel employee Shirley Ajit, who had earlier placed the prime accused, Pulsar Suni, at the same hotel as Dileep during a film shoot, retracted her statement. Doctors and staff from the Anwar Memorial Hospital who were connected to the production of allegedly false hospital records to provide Dileep an alibi also turned hostile. One key exception was Sagar Vincent, an employee at Kavya Madhavan's clothing store. He initially turned hostile, denying that Pulsar Suni had visited the store to allegedly hand over the video of the assault. However, after an audio clip surfaced suggesting he was offered a bribe to change his testimony, he later admitted in court that his initial retraction was false and that he had lied, resulting in him no longer being considered a hostile witness. But that wasn't enough. As a consequence of witnesses turning hostile, a significant challenge was created for the prosecution in providing the conspiracy charge against Dileep. While turning hostile doesn't automatically mean the prosecution loses the case, it severely undermines the credibility of the initial police investigation and the chain of circumstantial evidence. The phenomena of so many witnesses turning hostile was widely seen as a reflection of the powerful influence Dileep wielded within the film industry and the difficulties the survivor faced in her fight for justice. While this case exposed the deeply misogynistic mindset of the Kerala film industry, it also left significant impact. The case reshaped the conversation around safety, accountability, and systemic reform in the Malayalam film industry. It led to the formation of the Women in Cinema Collective, or the WCC, and prompted the Kerala government to appoint the Hema Committee, highlighting risks faced by the women and calling for industry-wide reforms. The 8-year saga remains a watershed moment, underscoring the intersection of celebrity, crime, and accountability in Indian cinema. The actor assault case involving Dileep had a profound and lasting impact on Malayalam cinema, primarily by exposing deep-rooted systemic issues, triggering intense public debate, and leading to significant institutional changes, including the formation of Women in Cinema Collective. In the immediate aftermath of the 2017 incident, a group of women actors, directors, and technicians formed the Women in Cinema Collective to advocate for gender justice, safety, and accountability in the industry. This was a watershed moment, providing a platform to raise issues that were previously swept under the rug. The WCC's demands for a safer working environment led the Kerala government to constitute the Justice Hema Committee. This was to study the working conditions for women in the industry. The committee's 2024 report, though heavily redacted, confirmed widespread sexual abuse and the existence of an all-male power group, sparking further conversations and calls for reform. The case sharply divided the Malayalam film industry and its audiences as well, with many expressing solidarity with the survivor with hashtags like Avalkoppam or We Stand With Her campaign, and others supporting Dileep. This division highlighted internal conflicts within powerful film bodies like the Association of Malayalam Movie Artists, which faced heavy criticism for its handling of the issue and their initial support for Dileep. It also set up some legal precedents and guidelines. The controversial aspects of the trial, such as the illegal accessing of the memory card containing the assault visuals while it was in court custody, prompted a High Court probe and the formulation of new guidelines for handling electronic evidence in sexual assault cases to protect the survivor's privacy and dignity. However, the acquittal of Dileep on 8 December left the industry divided, with debates about justice, accountability, and the effectiveness of reforms continuing. Now, despite the verdict, the case remains, as we told you, a watershed moment that transformed the industry, prompting ongoing discussions about gender, power, and need for change. That's all we have for you in today's edition of Postmortem. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to India Today for more news and updates.